I wanted to ask you guys about a video I made recently on the Dallas Mavericks. On Luka,
shameless plug.
Right.
All right, fine. A video that I watched on Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis.
That I made. You go type in
my favorite mic that creates NBA content, like the number one mic. Bear in mind, that makes NBA content. Mic number one.
I'm just going to say, y'all are lucky that I'm not a mic. That's all I'm going to say right now.
So did you guys hear what Mark Cuban said about Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis' relationship?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And some people called this a reach. It's just, at first I thought it was a reach, but then I just saw there was way too many things that were just a coincidence, in my opinion. Like, Kristaps Porzingis, like, even before this story came out, I kind of had my finger on the pulse of the situation, but I didn't make a video on it because it was a reach. Like stuff like when Luka hit that game winner against the Grizzlies. If you want, you can play the clip for the pod to see. You could look at Kristaps and like he's just very apathetic. I don't know if that's his demeanor. Maybe that's just his demeanor typically. You know, everyone on the team on the... Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off, Mike. What did Cuban exactly say?
All right, so this came out like after all of the rumblings about their relationship. And Cuban said that, here, let me see. On the court, they are fine. That's not to say there aren't dust-ups, because there are. Coach is coach, and Rick Carlisle kind of runs the show, so everything gets worked out on the court. KP and Luka get along fine. It's just that they're different people, and they like to do different things. And, you know, when you take that at face value, you're like, okay, cool, no big deal. But this is where it gets a little weird. He goes, I'd compare Luka and Porzingis' relationship to Jason Terry and Dirk Nowitzki. They weren't best friends at the beginning, but eventually they grew to like each other and they grew to be great friends. And that's just part of the process when you've got young kids who are growing up. It took forever before Dirk and Jet did anything off the court together, a very long time. So, like, it kind of seems like, all right, these two, you know, they don't love each other, they don't hate each other, but when you look at Porzingis' demeanor, like, at the conclusion of that game winner, and then when he's being interviewed about Luka, he's kind of rolling his eyes sometimes, or is, like, annoyed about answering questions about him. The direct quote that Porzingis said was, we're trying to play together and help each other. We want to win, and at the end, we all want to win here, and that's it. We have to keep playing and keep playing together and keep playing well and help each other. When they were asked about the lack of interaction between both of them, Porzingis really just didn't say anything. He didn't really shoot it down. He kind of tried to change the subject. There has to be something here, and combine that with the fact that the Mavericks aren't actually dominating. There's some injury issues with Porzingis this year. What do you guys think? Do you think that there's some chemistry issues? Do you think this is nothing?
Well, when it comes to this, I think there's definitely something there. I mean, Cuban just pretty much told us that there's something. And, you know, he's expecting it to get better as time goes on. But I'm not sure the Mavericks exactly embraced Kristaps' skill set when he came to Dallas. This is a team that doesn't really believe in post-ups. They don't really believe in some of the things that Kristaps brings to the table. They like him spacing the floor, and I'm not sure like his role right now is playing to his potential. And a lot of times I notice that his body language is just it's off. And you know, it's unfortunate because Kristaps is a great player, Luka's a great player, but sometimes you have to be a certain type of player to like buy into your role, to buy in to playing with somebody like Luka. And at the same time, Luka is somebody that you can tell the man's greatness, and Kristaps hasn't exactly been the healthiest. If you're Luka and you're fighting for the playoffs and you're trying to take the Mavericks to the next level, like I think, yeah, you could get frustrated if somebody is continually getting injured, even if it's not their fault.
I think Luka is going to look back at this season as a huge learning season for him, leadership-wise, because if you look at a young LeBron James, I'd say he would probably say the same thing, is that, you know, he learned a lot about becoming a leader, you know, as time goes on. It's just a natural progression. Like, if there's animosity here, then they have to, you know, talk it out, because right now they're the future of the Mavericks. I'm not sure what the Mavericks are doing if this doesn't work out. Like, I don't know what kind of trade value Porzingis would have. I would say that Kristaps, I understand why he gets annoyed in those clips that you see in the locker room. Like, how many times when you're an all-star level talent yourself, when you believe like, hey, I'm this kind of guy, I believe I'm an all-star in the NBA, why do you keep asking me about Luka? Ask me about me. You know, I understand that perfectly. But at the same time, you know, Luka himself has admitted that he's kind of been like a baby on the court. He complains about too many calls. He's been hot-headed. I think he's second in the NBA this year in technical fouls. I would say if this is a problem, which Mark Cuban has admitted, right now, all he did with this is admit that it's a problem, and it hasn't been solved. So the jury remains out on there. We'll see if they're able to solve it. We'll see, is Cuban gonna, you know, step in, try to do what happened with Dirk and Jason Terry? I don't know. I will definitely say though that there has been some smoke coming here. I won't say there's a fire there quite yet, but it's definitely something to look out for.
Kind of like what we were saying about the Portland Trailblazers, the Dallas Mavericks are in a little bit of a different situation because I feel like if they're dominant enough, they could be one of the large markets of the NBA because Dallas is technically like very big in the football market, and I think they could become that for basketball. But I do think that they need one more solid piece to pair with Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis, a player that could really be dependent upon for scoring, and I think that could really help them. But at the same time, I have to agree with Coop in terms of Porzingis' availability. For what you're paying Kristaps Porzingis, you know, he's one of your like franchise cornerstones. I personally would want to see more of a contribution from him, and whether that starts at the whether that starts with Rick Carlisle trying to figure out how to cater the game a bit more to Porzingis' strengths, or just, you know, moving on from him in general. I don't know what that's going to be, but the one thing that's for sure is they need more out of Porzingis if they want to be successful. I think the perfect star for the Dallas Mavericks would be a player like Paul George or Kawhi Leonard, either one of those. A player that really sets the tone defensively, can create his own shot, needs a good playmaker around him so there's not too much pressure on him scoring, would be so ideal and take this team to the next level.
I don't know what's going to happen to Paul George if Kawhi leaves because the Clippers are kind of just stuck without a lot of their picks. So and I don't think Kawhi Leonard is going to choose Dallas. I mean, look, if you look at Porzingis' shooting numbers, like, you know, sometimes it's like feed the man a little more. You know, get him, like, if he's hot early on, you know, be a point guard, get him more touches, get him happy. Like, I think that's part of his frustration. I think he, rightfully so at times, is, you know, getting just annoyed at the limited opportunities he'll get at times. Like, I mean, I've watched plenty of Mavericks games. I've seen Porzingis wide open plenty of times. And
yeah,
like, I guess it's taking a toll on him, you know? So, and he's shooting well this year. His percentages are up. His true shooting percentage is up. So I think that's on both Luka and Carlisle to, you know, get him some just maybe different touches. And because I don't know where, like I said, I don't know where they go if Porzingis doesn't work out. I don't know what they're getting for him. I don't know what happens. Like, their roster is not full of assets, to say the least.
I hope they figure it out. I think it starts with Rick Carlisle, and the thing is, he has this reputation of being very stubborn when it comes to his offense, and that's why him and Rondo kind of butted heads. So, I mean, at the end, we'll just have to see when Porzingis does come back. But stagnation's never a good thing, and Dallas definitely needs to make a move here.
If you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are definitely going to enjoy. Make sure to click on one of them. Again, I know you're gonna love it. And other than that, have a great day and peace.